Well, this is one of the most frequently asked questions in GD. Remember, the total duration of GD always depends on the number of people who participate in GD. Let's say there are 5 to 8 people, then definitely you will have 10 minutes allotted. If there are 8 to 12 people, you will certainly have 15 minutes as the duration. If there are 12 to 15 people, there will be 20 minutes allotted for GD. And if there are 15 to 20 people, you will definitely have 30 minutes. So the maximum number of participants you can expect in GD usually will be 20, and the maximum duration what you can certainly expect will be 30 minutes. For this, you need not to get in touch with your astrologer to ask which is going to be your favorable position in terms of seating arrangement. Remember, if you are extremely confident and you know to express your point of view in a very assertive manner, the seating arrangement will not matter at all. However, usually the participants will be asked to sit in a circle or maybe in a semicircle. If there is a table in the middle, then they might ask you to sit around the table, where the seating arrangement completely will depend on the shape of the table too. So there is nothing called a favorable position when it comes to GD. Before I could answer to this question, let me ask you a question. Tell me one thing, is GD new to any of us? Definitely not. We keep discussing on one or the other topic in our day-to-day life, casually, very informally. So when we have a discussion in our day-to-day life, do we appoint any leader while discussing the topic? Nobody does. Randomly, we pick up a topic and we just start speaking on the topic. In fact, many times the topic is created based on the interest of the group of people, right? Exactly the same. The only difference over here is the GD is conducted in a formal manner, right? With a set of people who are aspirants to get into different positions of different organizations. So you need not to appoint a leader before you could get started with the GD for sure. Okay, so my answer to this question will be yes and no both. Do you know why? If you are the initiator in GD, where you will be the first person to speak to get started with the entire GD, then you certainly are expected to introduce yourself. But if you are the second or the third, or maybe a person who is making your entry after the first speaker, after the initiator, then you need not to introduce yourself at all. So the answer is very, very simple. If you are the initiator, please to introduce. If you are not, then you need not to introduce. Whenever a GD is conducted, you will certainly have 3 or 4 people who are called as panel members who will be sitting and assessing your performance during GD. So whoever is sitting with you in the circle are the only people whom you should be maintaining eye contact with, whom you should be addressing throughout the GD. Anybody, whoever is outside the circle is actually none of your business, right? So you need not to definitely address panel members, which might definitely look as if you're trying to impress the panel members by maintaining eye contact with them, by addressing them, etc. So you need not to do that for sure. So coming to the second part of the same question, let me remind you, most of the times you will not even know the names of the participants. Okay? Usually you will have the numbers in front of you. You'll be assessed based on the number which is kept right in front of you. That's what happens usually in GD. So as you would not know the name of people, you need not to make an effort before the GD starts to go to people, talk to them, get to know their names, etc. If there are name cards kept in front of them, you can definitely make use of that and address the person by the name of the person. If it is not, let's say somebody made a statement and you have either an addition point or a contradiction, then you can say, I certainly agree with my friend. Or you can say, I completely disagree with the previous speaker. So these kind of words will definitely help you to address the participants. My answer to this question is a big no-no. Do you know why? Because if you are a person, if you have prepared yourself pretty well and you have been given a topic in the GD with which you are extremely familiar, we tend to speak a lot on the topic and we will tend to have a lot of points to actually express during GD. So when it comes to GD, what I would suggest is please express your points or your opinion in EMIs. Leave only one point at a time so that you don't end up speaking for a long duration at one stretch. Second, you would be actually allowing the point, whatever you would expect, one point at a time to get explored by the rest of the participants too. So for both reasons, I would suggest you not to speak everything at one shot. Just leave only one point at a time. Language is the biggest tool which allows you to express what you feel about a particular topic. However, when it comes to fluency in English, that's not the only factor which will allow you to get through GD. At the same time, neither you can neglect this factor too. Let's imagine there are 10 participants, including you. 9 of them have been speaking fluently in English with the right terminologies, with perfect vocabulary, with an amazing neutral accent, etc. And you are speaking in manageable English. Obviously, your performance will get highlighted in a very negative manner. Let's say, again, there are 10 people, including you, and 9 of them, including you, have been speaking in manageable English. So obviously, this will not be noticeable that time. So it completely depends on the people who would be participating with you. When you have a flow of thought and it is supported by perfect language, it always becomes really favorable to you. When it comes to GD, it's not the quantity what matters a lot. It's actually the quality which really matters the most. So when I say quality, I'm talking about you expressing the main points which would contribute immensely towards the discussion. So let's say there is 15 minutes allotted for GD and you spoke maybe max to max 3 or 4 times. That is more than sufficient if you have given a quality performance, right? So do not concentrate on the number of times you have to speak in GD. Rather concentrate on the quality of speaking. When it comes to the quantity, I would always suggest you speak. At the same time, allow others also to speak, which equally matters. Grab opportunities as many times as possible. At the same time, make sure you're not grabbing all the opportunities of others too. Sense of humor. Well, if your humor, what you think is humor, is the same humor for the rest of the people too, I would request you to please go ahead in terms of being humorous in GD. However, terms and conditions apply. Let's say we have a factual topic where we are discussing Kashmir problem. So obviously at that point of time, you cannot end up being humorous because it's a very serious topic, right? So you can be certainly humorous if you have a great sense of humor, point number 1. Point number 2 will be make sure you are expressing your sense of humor at the right time, depending on the topic which has been allotted to you in GD. So that's all I've got for all of you in this video. I'll be back very soon with one more career-oriented topic. Until then, please take a great care of yourself and have an amazing time ahead. Thank you so much for watching the video.